Just like in the jungle. One king gets old. He starts getting sloppy, he starts stagnating. Then a young gorilla comes up and kills him and takes everything he owns. Look into my eyes, little man. I'm gonna put him away early. I'm gonna take your belt. I will go out and I'll put him still. There is only one.
Welcome to a special UFC 194 fantasy breakdown. We didn't have any of the DraftKings or Countermove lines when we recorded our UFC 194 Bookie Beatdown last week. So we promised the people, we said we will get those picks out there. And here we are, giving them to you guys. So if you're not familiar with fantasy MMA, we're not talking about straight picks here anymore. You're looking for fighter performance. You're looking to see if your fighter finishes in the first round. That's the made
best.
In the shade. That is what that's what you're looking for. But you also get points for strikes landed, takedowns, reversals. Basically anything good that your fighter does inside of the cage, you're getting points. You're stacking up points, and you're potentially winning some money for it. So, we got DraftKings and Countermove teams. I'm going to pass it off to you. Tell us who's on your DraftKings team there.
Okay, starting with DraftKings, we start from the highest to the lowest. As you remember when we talked about Kevin Lee, I think this guy's got the goods. I think this will be the first situation where he's finally going to be able to earn that first UFC knockout. You know, the wrestling pedigree that's going to help him keep the fight standing. Just avoid going to the ground with Leo Santos. He's going to fade after 2, maybe 3 rounds. Get that knockout on him. $10,800. It is expensive. A little expensive for my blood. But I want a first round or second round finish. Kevin Lee's a guy that I think is going to be able to pull that off. Moving on, we got Magomed Mustafayev, $10,600. Magomed Mustafayev, if you look at him on the Russian regional scene, he's able to finish guys. I mean, he technically finished Khabib's little brother. Sorry, realize you're wearing the shirt. With basically what was a spinning back elbow that just clipped him in the face and knocked him out. If you look at the Piotr Hallman fight, it's a cut stoppage, but he just throws weird strikes, big elbows. He can go for that. Joe Proctor's a guy that he'll give it up if the heat gets put on him. Against Yancy Medeiros, it was in fact a spinning back kick to the body that folded him. And I don't think Mustafayev was above that. He loves throwing spinning attacks. He's very aggressive. Taking him down, good luck. Holding him down, even harder. So give me Magomed Mustafayev for $10,600. Now, $10,200. Ronaldo Jacare Souza. I know he's only got 3 rounds to work with here, but he's got the kind of striking that he could theoretically clip Yoel Romero and knock him out. If he doesn't knock him out, he could theoretically get the fight to the ground and get a submission win. I don't really personally see either of those scenarios playing through, but what I do see is Jacare getting his hand raised at the end of the day. He's got the kind of skill set to score big. For $10,200, I'll take Jacare. Now I'm running a little low on money here, Paul. So Gunnar Nelson, $9,300.
I thought you were picking Maia in this fight.
Well, this was a close fight. As I mentioned, it's either going to be a pass, or if Damian Maia can employ those wrestling skills and just take this fight to the ground, then I highly, highly doubt that Gunnar Nelson's jiu-jitsu is better than Damian's, at least better enough to, get a sweep or continuously get up or avoid everything altogether.
Or finish him from his guard, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Nelson gets submitted. He does have good jiu-jitsu, but I mean, sweeping and submitting Damian Maia, that would be incredible.
True.
But what he does have that karate background. We see him but drop Brendan Thatch. And we've seen in the past, even against like Omari Akhmedov, he hits Akhmedov, puts him down. Against Thatch, he hits him and puts him down. This guy does have good striking, and there's no doubt in my mind that when he looks up a matchup against Damian Maia, a lot of people think that he's going to relish the idea of, I want to grapple this guy. I want to prove to the world. I think he takes the path of, I don't really want to grapple with this guy. I want to use my superior footwork, dance around the outside. And I had a great quote from him that said, after the Rick Story fight, I realized I need to work on my striking. So I think I'm going to go with Gunnar Nelson, $9,300, $9,100, which is, coincidentally all the money I have left. Doesn't matter. Yancy Medeiros, and I like Yancy Medeiros. He's super cheap. He's got that huge reach advantage on John Makdessi. And John Makdessi second-guessing himself, even just a little bit, it's not going to prove good at all, because Yancy Medeiros has a game plan of being very aggressive. So to cap that off, Kevin Lee, Magomed Mustafayev, Jacare Souza, Gunnar Nelson, and Yancy Medeiros.
And I went with Max Blessed Holloway. He's the biggest favorite on the card for a reason. Jeremy Stephens is incredibly durable, so that's what kind of worries me. But even if it goes to decision, I feel as though Max Holloway is going to land a lot of strikes, and his floor is probably like 80 points or whatever. It's a little bit expensive at 10-9, but he does have potential to finish a guy like Jeremy Stephens, because I would say he is the more talented guy on paper from what we've seen, especially recently.
And when two guys are just throwing strikes the whole time, someone might get clipped and go down.
It's a potential, yep.
Yep.
But yeah, I think if it goes to decision, like the amount of strikes that this guy's going to land in that period of time, Max Holloway's probably going to score a lot of points unless he gets finished in the first round, but anything can happen in MMA. I got Magomed Mustafayev, pretty much the same things that you were saying there. We got Conor McGregor, my main man. 9,900. Let's be honest.
The price was right.
At the end of the day, the price is right in this spot. I realize Jose Aldo, great champion. It's been, some people are a little bit on either side and the other. I've been at fault of it myself, But at the end of the day, when McGregor wins, he wins by knockout or TKO. 16 of his 18 wins have been by TKO. He had another submission win. So 17 of his 18 wins have been by finish. So this is fantasy gold. If he wins this fight, you got to figure he's probably going to finish one Jose Aldo. Gunnar Nelson, same reasons as you. I like his advantages on the feet against one
Damian Maia. And the price is right. Let's not kid ourselves here. 9,300.
9,300. You gotta start going a little bit cheaper, right? And then I got Yoel Soldier of God Romero, just because this guy, when he wins fights, he finishes people. He finishes people emphatically. You just have to look through the list of people. I know Clifford Sparks, not exactly a world beater there, but Clifford Sparks, he's got so many
Brunson,
so many different attacks. This guy's never out of a fight.
Yeah.
This guy's never out of a fight, even if he's losing. Like in that Brunson fight, all it takes is one shot, and he just attacks you so aggressively that I had to put the Soldier of God, Yoel Romero, on my team. I'm going to move over to my Countermove team. It's pretty similar. We got Magomed Mustafayev. I almost kind of went with Mustafayev in these spots because I feel as though with all of this star-studded talent, Mustafayev may be a guy that is avoided on a lot of people's teams because his price is a little bit expensive, and there's just so many talented fighters top to bottom that people maybe that aren't as familiar with the lower-end fighters on any given card. Probably going to avoid one Magomed Mustafayev. He's 5,400 on Countermove, but I wanted him on the squad. I got Max Holloway again, 5,500. I got Gunnar Nelson, 4,700. Yoel Romero, 46, and Yancy Medeiros, 45. So I think we've talked about each one of those guys individually at this point.
Essentially, and you know what? For my Countermove team, I tried to keep it as close, although it's obviously not identical. But Magomed Mustafayev and Kevin Lee right off the hop. Those are two guys from DraftKings I pegged to hopefully get a finish, and I'm going to take them again on Countermove. Magomed Mustafayev, 5,400. Kevin Lee, 5,300. Luke Rockhold, 5,000. This is a 5-rounder that he's working with. So whether you think he's going to win or he's not going to win, it's going to go 25 minutes, presumably going to go 25 minutes. And this is a guy that never gets laid and prayed. When he's standing, he throws a high volume of strikes. He's got a great body kick. He's got a great right hand. He's probably going to shoot at least a couple takedowns. If the fight does hit the ground, you get transitional points in Countermove and DraftKings, where if you improve your position, you're going to get some points. And that's basically what he does. He flows around, takes the back, gets to side control, gets to half guard, back to side control, tries to take the back again. That stuff's really going to go good. He's got a great submission game, but I'm not going to fool myself. He's not going to submit Chris Weidman. At least probably not submit Chris Weidman. So more chances than not, I'm going to get 25 minutes out of it. For 5,000, I can score some decent amount of points. So count me in there. Now, 4,800, Colby Covington. Colby Covington's a guy that this is a 50-50 fight, essentially. I mean, he's not likely to put Warlley Alves away, but he's another guy that he can go in there, use his takedowns, control the fight on the ground. I don't care about little pitter-patter punches, man. I really don't, because they're going to add up. If I get half a point per strike, and I can get, 75 significant strikes landed maybe, then I'd be happy with that from Colby Covington. Mix that in with some takedowns, mix that in with the points he gets for getting the win, I'd be comfortable with that. Okay. And rounding off Yancy Medeiros, $4,500. He's very affordable. Price is right. He's very affordable, price is right, and he's the kind of guy that John McDessie gets a really tunnel vision, and he gets, sometimes he freezes up.
Longer guys sometimes.
Long guys, because he knows he's so short, he needs to get to the inside, but at the back of his mind, I really get the impression that this guy doesn't like to get hit. Now, say what you will, Donald Cerrone, nobody wants to get hit by that guy, but there's been other circumstances where he gets really gun-shy when fighting guys. So if that happens again and you got a guy like Yancy Medeiros standing in front of you, once again, it comes down to this interview I heard with Yancy Medeiros where he was like, I'm going to bully this guy. And I think that's the path to victory. So count me in. Mustafayev, Kevin Lee, Luke Rockhold, Colby Covington, and rounding it off once again with fancy Yancy Medeiros.
And that wraps up our fantasy MMA breakdown for UFC 194. Want to thank our director, Chase Kaiser, doing all the sweet cuts behind the glass. Want to thank Cody Saptic breaking down the fights in this little ice cube here with me. For both those guys, I'm Paul Shaughnessy saying goodbye and good luck.